Okay, so I have a Steam fan fiction, so to say, in my head, and I want to describe why, and I want to explain sort of how reasonable and efficient and thoughtful Valve was with creating a gaming landscape like no other. This may be a longer video, this may be a shorter one. I'm not entirely sure exactly how much I'm going to say, but I'm absolutely foaming at the mouth for this stuff, right? And I'll give you some context. So, I have what is essentially, if you compare all the connections on my computer, my PC, it's essentially around, I'd estimate around $14,000 worth of computer and peripheral and wiring and uh, proficiencies and redundancies and all of that, right? So I have Cooler Master case on the tower, and then I have a X570 plus, or is it 5? I think it might be upgraded from 570. I kind of forget if it might be a 670 or a 690 now. But I have a motherboard that can take an AM7 or 9 5800X. I forget which one it is. I think it's a 7. And then I have a Tough Gaming 4070 Ti. I have 64 gigs of RAM, Corsair Vengeance, and then I have, I think it's upwards of 20 to 30 terabytes. I have two Sabrent 16 USB port 3.0, 2.1, whatever it is, hubs. I have a Focusrite 2i2 connected to my $1,000 guitar. I have a several different mice to use, whether it's Logitech or Corsair. I have a custom Final Fantasy 14 keyboard. I have a Hori Final Fantasy 14 branded uh, gamepad. I have a LG CD player and writer because I prefer having that at some point. It's USB connected. I have an XP Pen 13 something graphic tablet. I have Logitech speakers. I have three external hard drives. I have a X56 Rhino Logitech HOTAS HOTAS. I have um, a Logitech. I forget the name of it, but it's a force feedback wheel, and I have a Valve Index, which is also $1,000. Like I have a shitload of components specifically just for my PC. I also have a Tobii eye tracker. I think it's Tobii 5. Um, yeah, I have a bajillion things connected to my computer, right? And all of this creates a very high fidelity experience, right? But then Valve comes out the wazoo with three Steam hardware products, and they cover about all of this kind of experience in a very simple and aggressively priced, so like not expensive in total, but in comparison to what, especially like my $14,000 computer, it like you don't understand how aggressively priced this shit is and how optimized it is for gaming, right? So the Steam Deck runs at about $319 at the cheapest. It's hypothesized the Steam machine is going to be about 600, and the Steam frame is going to be about 900, right? So that's like $2,000, right? To get pretty much the same amount of experiences as I have in my computer, but the only thing is that my computer is much more modular because it's base PC stuff, and it does productivity a lot more than it would do just gaming. However, if you're not interested in being modular and having like a car's worth of computer parts, you could just get these four devices: the Steam Deck, the Steam frame, the Steam machine, and to cap it all off, maybe $150 at most Steam controller. right? Like, and all of that under $900. That's literally a 14th of the price, if not cheaper, of what I have without the productivity option. And even then, there's going to be hackers out there, and I don't mean like hackers like getting into security, but hackers in like the sense of like life hack, but like tech hack, right? Where because of Valve making everything like super modular and super customizable, there's going to be people out there making complete servers out of these Steam machines. I can already see it, right? And I don't know, like, with how much money I've spent on this stuff, I feel duped in the way that it's like, oh, that's a lot of fucking money to do the same shit. But not duped in the sense that I've learned a lot about computers. And I have a pretty damn significantly, like, reliable system, right? But that doesn't compare to something that's in-house within the same ecosystem, meaning so if I have to make sure I explain this. The Steam frame being standalone means it can do like short VR artistically styled mobile games without a wire connected to the ground or any machine whatsoever, like out of thin air, playing in the middle of VR space without any connections whatsoever. But it can also be PC VR. So there's an adapter that, let's say you had a normal PC, you could play all your VR PC games on it over a 6 gigahertz connection, or you can get the Steam machine and play native SteamOS VR games through the Steam machine on your headset. And then, on top of that, all of these devices, Steam Deck, Steam Machine, Steam Frame, all have an SD card slot. So if you have a proficient enough SD card, it's hot swappable. So you don't even need to do it over a connection, and you can play all of these games like standalone. You know? And you don't have to buy multiple copies of anything. Like, that's pretty fucking, like, I'm hungry for that. You know what I mean? So I'm probably going to be spending about $2,000 to $3,000 in the next couple months trying to get this shit, and I think it's worth it. So I just wanted to share that. Completely fangirl, but like Valve is leading the industry in such a way that nobody can compete without like completely drastically changing their product profile. So we'll see what happens in the future. I'm pretty excited about it.